Hey guys, this is your host Avinash. Welcome to the first part of our podcast series with Mr. Anirudh Das. Anirudh is an IIT graduate with a passion for revolutionizing education. He has built an innovative platform that bridges traditional learning methods with modern demands. The name of that startup is Zeal Educators. Zeal Educators, he's on a mission to make high quality education accessible to learners worldwide. Stay tuned as we dive into Anirudh's inspiring journey, his vision for the future, and the impactful work he is doing at his startup. Hey Anirudh, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Hi, Avi. I'm glad.
Happy to hear that. So, Anirudh, for our listeners who don't know the amazing work you and Zeal Educators is doing, can you give them a brief introduction about yourself?
So, I started Zeal Educators in 2020. It was around when I was in the terminal stage of my college education. I was about to wrap it up, and COVID happened.
Yeah.
At that time, the major breakthrough which we were facing was conducting education. Colleges were disrupted, schools were disrupted, and we were pushed into an online era. Our institutes, universities, they were not prepared. And at that time, I got an idea to discuss with my professors as well in the college that why don't we use technology in 100% efficient manner? But somehow it worked. In some cases, it didn't work and so on. Then I got the idea to start a platform of my own to help those who are seeking education and they don't want to spend their time in commuting. They don't want to waste a lot of time because, in India, we have a lot of traffic. So it basically originated from that part only because when I was a student, I also used to feel this trouble that going every time, every day, like after doing schools for the whole day, then going for education apart from school was a hectic thing. But what I always kept in my mind is that it should be like the traditional education, because if you change the pattern of education, you lose the essence of it. It should be like that. So I always focused on emphasizing the classical education pattern and integrating it with the technology. So at Zeal Educators, what we have done is we have integrated it in such a way that it feels like an offline education, yet it is online. And by this, it was a mere experiment.
I'm so sorry. How do you make that happen? That it feels like offline, but it is actually online.
What happened is when we started to learn online, the primary mode was video lectures that were recorded. Now, we know that these are one-way. So the teacher is teaching and the student is not getting a chance to communicate with the teacher. But what used to happen in offline classes was the teacher and student, they used to interact. There was a cross-questioning going on. And that was the moral of education to develop. Because in education, the main aim is not to score grades, but to create an individual who is fully aware and is capable of discussing. So in that terms, when I started, I planned it that it should be an interactive session. And we should have adequate technologies. Like in the beginning, people used to use cameras and their phone cameras and use whiteboards and all. So obviously, if you are seeing the whiteboard and other things around, you are not going to get the proper focus you want. In that time also, we had the technology. I won't say that we were not having. We were having the technology, but the implementation was not exact. I used basic technologies first. I started with Google itself. We started for a couple of months. Then Microsoft launched a program for institutes, basically. And institutes in India were not very interested in that program. Few were. Mostly they were not interested. And I was an individual who just started up. I reached out to Microsoft to pitch my plan and proposal. They sort of liked it. And we collaborated as a team then. And we used their Microsoft platforms to conduct classes. And at this present time, we have a classroom-like environment. You can discuss with the teacher. You can see the teacher. The teacher can see you. The teacher can ask you questions. Like you collaborate and you focus on what's needed. I kept the methodology pretty simple and it worked out well. Because basically what I did is I focused on fusion of both the classical education and the technology. I never promoted that video lecture thing because when I was a student, in my school, it didn't help me much. But for higher grade students like those who are in college or like us, if we want to learn something, videos are good for us, but not for kids. It doesn't work out very well.
Yeah. So, see, I have a follow-up questions, but before that, for our listeners, can you explain what Zeal Educators do?
So basically, we are a coaching institute, and we have expanded our network to around 13, 14 different countries as of now. We cater to the core academic curriculum where the students are seeking guidance and help to cope up with their academic.
Okay.
So that is what we do primarily.
Great.
Apart from that, there are other things like career counseling and motivating students, because we have got a lot of parents complaining that our child is losing interest in studies. What can we do? So there are a lot of parents there who are helpless. They cannot motivate their child. So in that, we come into action and help parents guide, motivate. Basically, child has a lot of energy. We just need to streamline that energy into the correct direction. So that's where me and my team work.
Thanks for sharing that. And, any milestones or any, key achievements that you would like to share about Zeal Educators?
So Zeal Educators is a bootstrap startup. I started it with pretty much no funds, I must say. And the major milestone is that we have covered around 14 different countries and more than 15 different types of global education curriculums as of now.
What was your motivation or strategic insight in moving outside India rather than expanding? India has so many examinations, right? Right. So usually we see that, edtech companies, they try to expand in one territory first and then grow, right?
Yeah.
What was the key insight that you didn't follow this?
See, when I was a student, I was also into the same race where we were focused on all the competitive exams. And somehow what I have felt is a lot of students do not get the desired success they want. And the basic reason is that the foundational part is weak. This is very hard to accept for a lot of people, but I do accept it that yes, the main reason behind not getting the success you desire in those examinations is the basics. And those foundational part is really weak here. And not just in India, but in most of the countries, the case scenario is pretty much the same. So everywhere in outside India, what I have seen is that the curriculum is basically focused on foundation more. And what I thought when I was analyzing those global curriculums is, why can't we implement those strategies for better results in India as well? So we did those strategies first. It worked out pretty well. Then I got an idea that why not expanding it to other countries as well? Like it was let's try how it goes. How can we handle it? Then when I stepped into it, we digged ourselves and deep into research and development a lot, because multiple curriculums have multiple patterns. So you have to have a deep knowledge about it before you start to conduct classes. So we created a team of 8 members. We started to dig up to every country's curriculum. We analyzed it, we strategized it. And then what we did is we prepared our educators accordingly for those curriculums. Because in India, nobody is very well aware of the global curriculum because every country has something different. And it basically led to an exposure to all those educators who are working with me to have a global exposure with guidance. Because if I just keep an educator with a global curriculum high and dry, he or she will suffer. And I always believe in collaborative effort. So we work as a team, all those educators, academic heads, coordinators, we all work as a team with the parent and the student to develop their insights into academic education and build their foundation first.
Okay, very interesting. So, if we speak about your offering in other countries, the educators are Indians.
Yes.
Okay. And how is the response from for just the purpose of me understanding, when you say 40 countries, can you give me some geographical, is it in Europe or is it in Middle East or is it in Africa or Southeast Asia? Where are these 40 countries distributed?
So if I talk about Asian countries, we have covered China, we have students from Japan, Philippines, we have students from European part, we are from France, Paris. So from Paris also we have some, from Paris region as well. In the United Kingdom, in US, we have students from multiple provinces. In Middle East also, we have students from Saudi, we have students from Kuwait, we have students from Dubai, and so on. We are expanding. We have students from Australia as well.
Okay.
As there are more other countries.
So are these students of Indian origin or belong to Indian diaspora?
In the starting, we used to work with the Indian origin students, because in other countries also there are Indian schools going on. Then we started to work with Indian students who are in US international schools with international curriculum. Then slowly we expanded to students who are in some university levels, because after 10th in abroad, what happens is they treat it as a college education. In India, we have 11, 12. They have specification there. So then we started to work with those native as well.
So what's the response of an Indian educator teaching, say, an American student? So what is their typical response to that?
So what if I tell you that the Indian curriculum which we used to study, our generation would study, was actually pretty solid. Absolutely. Just a minor change in the teaching pattern or the approach. Let's say if we work with an educator with a master's in mathematics, so that particular educator is well versed with mathematical concepts. The core is very strong. We just have to work with the strategies which are needed for a particular country, and the response is pretty amazing. Like students are scoring 95, 96% by learning from an Indian educator. And that was the response in which we were also amazed. And our educators, they give 110% effort into every session. And what we do is for every student, we have meetings, we discuss with the educator, and we are very open to responses. So our educators, what they do is when they are taking sessions, they also analyze that what's happening with the student. Then we as a team come up with the problems and we discuss and try to fix the problem for the student. Now, all this is happening where the student is not known about this. We are analyzing the performance of the student. We track the basics, like let's say some has a particular problem in a particular section, but the student is not aware. So what we do is we do not try to pressurize the student. We try to blend it into our class. Right. We take a off-track mode. The method is very off the track, which is not preferred by all, but we do it. And what happens is in the meantime, the student starts to improve. So whenever I have a discussion with any of the parents, I never commit that, yes, I can do any magic, because in education, no magic can happen. It will take time. And parents also are very interested in their improvement. They want to invest time in a course of 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. We gain, I can say, a tremendous improvement is seen in the students.
Great insight there. And you are one of the very few people I know or I have met who are running a business or who are offering a service or a product in China, especially in the edtech sector. So a couple of years back, China made a regulatory change, right, where it was said, as per my knowledge, that no profit-making entity can enter into, tutoring services. So how has this impacted you? What is your stance?
In China, what we have done is we have focused on Indian origin students who are learning in the Indian curriculum, or in China, there are US curriculums as well. They have schools which have US and Cambridge curriculums going on. So we got the target audience for this sector where they are natively Indians. So we cracked that code because they were taking services from us and we were not physically present in China. So our entity is not registered in China. We are an Indian entity completely. It's a full Swadeshi company which I'm running. So what we did is that there was no such implementation of export of services. Basically, we were exporting our education services there.
Right, you are exporting your education.
Yeah,
and it's really a proud fact, I would say. So thanks a lot for that insight. And how do you tackle the sales and marketing efforts?
So for the sales and marketing, we have a very different strategy. I won't be disclosing it. It's a trade secret, but I will give you
off the record. You must tell me.
Off the record, if I tell you, we spend zero on marketing.
Okay.
We have a zero spend on marketing. Basically,
possible. That's just
That is.
okay. There, but if you speak to a parent, right, before they pay you, to call that a zero marketing effort.
See, I will tell you the real story behind it. Till now, all the sales calls are done by I handle the salesperson.
Absolutely. I know, like, and right. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not zero marketing because your time has value, right? But okay, so let's assume that you are doing zero marketing, right? So how do you attract, right? So there's a person, there's a family in China who is from Indian origin, right? So they sign up on your website and they immediately pay and start taking services? How does that happen?
No, that does not work like that. See, taking money from anyone's pocket is always a challenging task.
Yeah.
You cannot just ask for money from anyone else directly. And especially when you are so far, you are not in that country as well. You are not present in the country physically. So that's major challenge. So how we get parents and how we get clients is a typical question. We have our websites running. We have our social media platforms running. But apart from that, the major breakthrough which we get is by word of mouth. Our students and parents are our brand ambassadors. So with the meantime, when we started to work, we were very consistent that we have to deliver better education. We are not into just money-making business. My core objective was that education must be given in a right way. So in a righteous manner, delivering education, we focused on that. And when the parents feel that, yes, my child is improving, so they basically support you. And the support you get from I was say the parents, or in my case, you can say that in business, the support you get from the customers is the biggest marketing you can do.
Absolutely. So is Zeal Educator more into one-on-one classes or is it more in group classes?
Both.
Okay. But what's the distribution there? Can you give us a rough figure?
So how we manage is that we have a policy that if we create a group class, then the condition is if all those students are from the same school or same region and they are in the same curriculum, only then we are going to club them. And also we have restricted the number to 4 to 5 maximum in a group. In that way, what has happened is the quality of education delivered has always remained constant. And we have achieved the easiest way to create groups, because group classes in online in different countries is not very easy, because the probability is that, let's say, US has so many states. So you get a few students from a particular state and you get another few students from particular states on the same class. But the curriculum is totally different. You cannot club. So we got into this group sessions using the strategy and it worked out pretty well. Let's say if we get a student in our one-on-one class, after a couple of weeks, we get to know that we have more inquiries from the same school itself. And in that case, we start to merge and make groups. Else we go for one-on-one, because in that, my principle in this coaching business is that education should not be hampered. No matter whatever you're trying to do, you must focus on the first principle, that is education. And my core focus, my whole team's main focus is on education. So the main motivating factor which I give to my team is that everything is on me. You just focus on delivering the best education you can.
Okay, makes sense. So moving on to the next question, from Harvard Business School to leading Zeal Educators, what have been the most significant challenges you have faced as an entrepreneur in the edtech space?
So in the edtech space, the most significant challenge which I have faced is in creating a team. So see, basically what's happening in the market is everybody is working in a particular pattern.
Right.
And if somebody, let's say, of a middle age is working in a particular pattern, molding that person into a different kind of pattern has always been very difficult. So when we look for educators out there in the market, first we look for the ideas to align, because if the educator and me, we are not aligned, we cannot work together. So the major challenge which we have faced is in finding the right fit. Basically, I must say the right mindset. That is the major challenge. Apart from that, there were other challenges as well as an entrepreneur that when I was starting, I told you I was bootstrapped. I'm still bootstrapped. So in that, a lot of regulations have to be taken care of. All the paperwork are there and all. So being from that business background, the business schooling has helped me a lot in coping up with all those difficulties. So basically, I managed everything on my own. Either be the legal procedure or the documentation or the finances. These all have been taken care of by me only.
Wow. So what has been your significant, or should I say the biggest legal headache, should I say?
Processing payments from different countries.
Right.
Really hurdle.
I have done that. Yeah, it's a big hassle. So what solution are you using right now for that?
I will say that these leading banks, they have helped me a lot.
Okay.
They have helped significantly. And with banks, the thing is, if you understand the banking structure, you can discuss with your banker and get the right solution. But if you don't understand the banking structure itself, then getting the perfect solution for those things will become much difficult. Like, I will give you an example. Let's say the payment gateways. So these gateways needs integration to be done.
Right.
So here comes the role of artificial intelligence and technology. So if you are good with the technology, because these technologies are very basic. These are not some high-level technology. These are basic technology. So what happens is banks do not have the dedicated payment gateways which you can use as a plug and play. So we have third-party aggregators. Now what happens is in aggregators, the commission cost for transactions are very high. Especially with international payments, the main hurdle is the transaction cost. It goes up to around 10-15% sometimes. With different currencies, it goes up to 15%. And 15% of the revenue is a big chunk. So reducing that was the main challenge. And here the banks helped a lot because there are some big banks who are partnered with such aggregators and they give you a good discounted rate. Just the thing is, you have to be the guy who is taking care of the technology itself. If you can do that, then in that case, the path is much easier, I guess. Because ultimately in a bootstrap startup, our focus is to keep the prices, the cost basically low as much as possible.
So what is the financing situation of Zeal Educators as of now? Have you raised out external funding?
No.
Right. Okay. You talked about Microsoft, right? So what is nature of association between you and Microsoft? Could you care to explain?
So when we started, Microsoft really helped us grow, must say. How? Because when they started, they also had a new program they launched for university. And that was meant for schools and universities only and not for other startups. But when I had a discussion with them, they liked the idea. They gave me access to those softwares basically. And for the first year, they were running on a trial run. So it was basically free of cost. That helped us save a lot of funds. And from the next year, they started licensing. And now we are doing a licensing contract with Microsoft. So for every educator or for every student we have or every team member we have a particular dedicated license with our brand. Yeah. So now it costs us some amount, but in the starting, the first year, it was very crucial because having the right technology and saving cost on it, that was the major breakthrough which we were looking for, and that was there. So you can say it was a chance maybe, or I was keen to solve the problem. So I got the solution. For the first year, we saved a lot of money and then we used that to grow. Till now, we haven't raised any funds yet. So this model is overall a self-sustaining model.
Yeah, that's really nice. So how would you, if somebody is in your shoes, how would they approach Microsoft for the initial assistance that you got?
Yeah. So there is a big misconception with youngsters basically who are planning to start anything. They have a fear of reaching out to any big company. But the case is, if you write a mail in a proper format, if you seek for guidance, then these big companies, these tech giants basically help the startups. You just have to reach them out. The basic is you just have to write a mail, just communicate. Because what I have learned so far is that for any kind of problem you're facing, let's say be it in your life, be it in your education, or be it in your entrepreneurial journey or job, first thing you need is good communication. So you need to communicate first. at least get to know what's happening and how we can solve it. So when we communicated with Microsoft, we got a prompt response, like within a day, they respond. And the response system is very good actually. And even if you drop your number, they even give you a call back as well. And once the call back, the tech team is, I would say, proficient enough that they can guide you through all your technical issues before even you are their customer.
Right. That's quite true. And Microsoft has helped my startup as well immensely. So I completely concur with your thoughts. So my experience, I would say my advice would be, so Microsoft has this program called Microsoft for Startups, right?
Yeah.
Over there, you can go and apply, right? And if you are selected, then you get, discounted pricing for a lot of products and services that they offer. And then you can leverage that. And for generative AI startups, it's a big deal because they are giving, close to $200,000 in credits. In our case, we were recommended by Alchemist Accelerator. So we got it really easy, right? I don't know what is the acceptance rate for regular people, but I know a couple of people who have been part of that program. It's not too tough, right? It's definitely a lot easier than getting into YC or Alchemist or any other accelerator for that matter. And similar things is with Google as well, right? Yes. So, if you feel that the Google is going to be better technological fit, you can approach Google, or you can approach me, and I'll guide you through the process, right? And obviously, you can also reach Anirudh for any guidance on how to connect with Microsoft. So, moving on, we have a surprise for you. So, we have a rapid fire round, which is full Karan Johar style.
Yes.
So you have to answer the questions very quickly. Okay, are we ready? Good.
Yes.
So the first question is, if you could teach one subject that is currently not taught in any school across the world, what would that subject be?
Integration of technology and finance.
Well, that's a great answer. Sure. Now, I know you're not really fond of video lectures, but if you have to convert your whole life into a video lecture, what would be the title of it?
That's a good question, actually. The basic title is You Can Do.
Okay. So, if there was an EdTech island, what 3 items would you bring with you?
High-speed Wi-Fi, laptop,
Right.
and that good pair of headphones. That's what we need in EdTech.
Right. Okay. What's the most bizarre sales question or support question you have received in your entrepreneurial journey?
So the most bizarre question which I have received yet from a parent is that, would you take guarantee that my child is gonna crack this?
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I can see, I can try, I can do my best, but how can I take guarantee? Let's say the child is not focused into studying and I'm pushing my 100% efforts. Obviously, it's the two-way effort. So that was the most bizarre thing I heard, like guarantee, because there is no guarantee of anything. What we can do as humans is we can try and prove and give our best, fail and again learn and again fail and again learn and again try. And that's how life is. It's all about trying and failing and trying again.
Makes sense. So the next question is, which overused educational buzzwords made you roll your eyes every time you hear it?
Exams.
So do you think exams is a buzzword, right? So
yes, like students out there and parents, not only students, but parents are more uncomfortable position they are in. If we talk about exams, like they are so stressed for the exams. Like, what if their child is not going to score 95%? What is going to happen? And I'm like, nothing wrong is going to happen if the child is scoring less.
Right.
He can always try. He can always improve, because life is a learning journey. In life, every day you wake up, you learn something. So it's like you will learn. Eventually, if you are not doing good today, you can try hard and you can do better tomorrow. So we don't need to pressurize our students like this. We need to give them space to think, because what's happened, what I feel personally is that students are very pressurized these days. They have lost their liberty to think freely. Some are thinking, they are going out of the box. Most of the students, they are capable enough, but still their capabilities are not being used 100% because they are pressurized with just exams. And exams are nothing, just an assessment of whatever you have learned throughout the whole year. Nothing to worry about it.
Great answer there. So, Anirudh, thanks a lot for coming on this podcast. It was really informative and entertaining. Thanks again.
It was a great session.
I'm happy that you liked it. That's a wrap up the first part of our interesting conversation with Anirudh Das. We have touched on his early inspirations, the founding of Zeal Educators, and the innovative approaches he's implementing to reshape education. But there is so much more to uncover. Join us in the next episode as we delve deeper into his startup journey. We will also discuss the challenges faced in the education sector and Anirudh's insight on the future of learning. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss out on the second part of this fascinating discussion.